We can all agree that YouTube is one of the most popular and biggest video platform in the world. Obviously, content creators are a huge part of the company, and whenever they start getting more views and more subscribers, sponsors naturally start to come in. Sponsorships can make a large portion of a content creator's income, meaning that a bad partnership can negatively impact that content creator. Well, in today's video, we're going to talk about an insane sponsor scam drama that just went down and unfortunately has spilled over to the comedy/podcast world. If you listen to the Tim Dillon Show, Stivel's Wild Ride, Two Bears One Cave, or Bartcast, you might have heard of established titles. With that being said, let's get started.
Man, you can become a big deal with this crazy thing that's actually saving the world. It's called established titles, and what it is, it's you save the world because you're buying a little plot of land and planting a tree.
Title packs give you at least 1 square foot of dedicated land with a unique plot number. Officially include the title of Lord or Lady on your credit card, plane tickets, dating profiles. That is such a flex. You're insane not to do it.
This episode of Something's Burning is brought to you by Established Titles. Established Titles makes a great gift to give someone. It is a project based on a historic Scottish custom where landowners are referred to as lords and ladies. They allow people to buy as little as 1 square foot of dedicated land so that they can call themselves a lord or a lady.
If you spend some time on YouTube, you've probably heard your favorite YouTuber, comedian, or podcaster talk about this company. If you haven't, essentially the company sells you the idea that through them, you can purchase a small plot of land in Scotland that would allow you to have the title of Laird or Lady next to your name. And at the same time, they plant a tree. Technically. Well, over the past week, many people, but specifically YouTuber Scott Schaefer, started to point out some very questionable things about the company. That video from Scott gained so much traction that now has over 2 million views, and things got so bad that large YouTubers decided to put out a statement and cut ties with that company, which is wild. Obviously, as I was watching that video, a few comedians, podcasters came to mind, which are the ones that I have included in this video. But also the same YouTuber has made a list and a video compilation of all YouTubers or everybody on YouTube that was working with that company. Again, the purpose of this video is for entertainment and informational purposes only. So that way you do your own research before buying a product online. I also highly recommend you watch his entire video so that you can get a better understanding of that company.
Unfortunately, everything said there, from the buying of land to being given a lord title and even the planting of trees, is a complete lie. After researching this company, I uncovered a web of shell companies devised to hide who actually operates this scam, and what I will show you in this video will truly shock you. So with that being said, let's break this scam apart piece by piece. The first issue is the most fundamental, and that is the fact that when you buy one of their 1 square foot plots of land in Scotland, you aren't actually buying any land at all. What they are essentially selling you is a gag gift known as a souvenir plot. Under the Scotland Law and Registration Act of 2012, it's not allowed for these small plots of land to be legally sold. The law states, Land Registration Scotland Act of 2012, Section 22, in subsection 1b, souvenir plot means a plot of land which is of inconsiderable size and of no practice utility, and is neither a registered plot nor a plot the ownership of which has at any time separately been constituted or transferred by a document recorded to the Registrar of Sassenach. The seller will unlikely sell a souvenir plot of both considerable size or practical utility and a registered plot. The disposition will be unable to be registered in the land registrar. This means that the buyer cannot acquire a real right of ownership in Scots law. Therefore, it is impossible for buyers of the sale to become owners of a souvenir plot. No other form of ownership is recognized by the real right of ownership, as discussed above, owing to Scots property laws, Romans laws of influence. So basically, the company that owns established titles, and I'll get into who they are in a minute, bought up a bunch of large parcels of land and is selling off phony titles to small portions of it. If you were to go to Scotland and try and claim your land, or try and do anything with it really, you would be laughed at because you don't actually own anything.
In my opinion, I think this is a good case study on the responsibility that YouTubers, influencers should or shouldn't have when it comes to choosing their sponsors or partnerships. But at the same time, it is a good example of how easily people can be fooled, because we all know the typical YouTuber scams with crypto, YouTuber courses, and all that kind of stuff. But in my opinion, this wasn't a clear red flag, because even though I thought the whole title thing was weird and I would have never bought from them, I never really thought negatively of the company and would have never expected this to come out.
Hello guys and gals, me Mutahar, and I have made an actual genuine mistake here, and I definitely do feel like ripping the band-aid off and actually apologizing and taking ownership for it is the actual smart, adult, and reasonable thing to do. Now, of course, when you're on YouTube, there's going to be mistakes you make, you're going to be called out, and unfortunately, in some cases, you are absolutely in the wrong. And this is one of those things where I genuinely do want to accept anything wrong that I've done and try to make it actually better. So what have I done wrong? Now, if you haven't noticed in the last few videos, I've taken some sponsorships that since this, I've actually went into the YouTube editor all day this morning, and I've really looked through all I've done, and I've tried to cut things out, remove any sort of branding, and call it a day. Now, I'm not going to mention anything by name here simply because I haven't looked through all of my contracts that well. I don't really know about all the disparaging clause and everything going around, and I don't really want to mention anybody specifically by name. I'm simply making this video to notify you that we are cutting any ties with any sponsorships that have been called out in the last few days.
What's going on? Jeremy here. I got an email. I got all of your emails today. I woke up to about 50, 60 emails, very well thought out, thoughtful emails from my viewers saying like, dude, you got to check this out. Like, I'm not being sarcastic, dead serious. Bunch of tweets too, like, bro, check this out. There was a video on a company that sponsors a bunch of YouTubers called Established Titles. They've been a sponsor on this channel for many months, and most recently, I just signed a contract with them through the end of the year for a big Christmas push. You probably saw, like, you've seen an uptick in their video ads on my channel. As a result of this video and the information that has been brought to light, at this point, I'm going to pause any future ads for Established Titles.
And here's the thing, I don't like the idea of people going after other people's sponsors, but I think this case is a little bit different. But at the very least, I do agree that you should let the people know what's going on, because I completely disagree with the people that are blaming the consumers and the people that are commenting saying that, hey, if you bought from them, then you deserve to lose money. That's completely insane to think about, because when it comes to business and marketing to consumers, I do believe the ethical responsibility is on the marketer or the business in this case. It is physically impossible for every person to be researching every single product that they buy, which is why we support certain companies and keep them in business by buying from them. I won't get too much into details about the specifics of the company itself. Again, Scott did a great video, a great job with that video, and you should definitely watch it. But I do think YouTubers need to be very careful and vet the sponsors and partnerships that they want to be in business with. And in this specific situation, I don't believe it was the content creator's fault for getting the sponsorship. At the end of the day, that's how the business works. They have managers, they get offers, and they accept the money. However, because of how highly effective influencer marketing is and the power that they have over their audiences, content creators should definitely be more careful when choosing a sponsorship. But what do you think? Have you ever bought from that company? And if so, what are your thoughts on it? Because at the very least, it's not a huge amount of money that they are selling those titles for. If you think that you were fooled, I would just think about it as a lesson, as a $50 lesson or whatever the cost is for the future. You should know to do your research on everything you buy, even if it's coming from your favorite person in the internet. But let me know what you think in the comments below. And once again, please don't comment or message anybody that we talked about in this video or any of that weird stuff. This is purely for informational and entertainment purposes only. Like the video, subscribe to the channel. We are trying to get to 20,000 subscribers and it helps out a ton. Dislike the video if you didn't like it. But that's all we have for today. See ya.